guys, Bullhorn Betty. I'm just going to make this kind of short and sweet tonight because it's so late and I'm getting up early in the morning, probably in about, 4 or 5 hours. And I'm going to start making my way to Tennessee. This is Sebastian Rogers. He's a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and has not been seen since. And we've done as much work as we can possibly do from our outfit here, right? So now it's time to get in the field and do some field work, and that's what we're going out to do. And there was something about this photo. We're going to be talking about this. Hey guys, Candy Cane, it's nice to see you, my love. But before we get into this conversation right here, I'm just going to take a few moments to kind of give everybody the Reader's Digest of how we got here. So according to Sebastian's mother, he went to bed at 9 p.m., exactly at 9 p.m. She had him, don't know what the nightly routines are, don't know anything about anything. All we know is he went to bed at 9. At one point, she said she heard a thud at 11:30 while she was in the kitchen. The one that they're taking now is that she heard a thud at 10:30 while she was half asleep on the couch studying and talking on the phone with her husband while snoring in the phone as he's screaming in there to wake her up so she can go to bed, put the dogs away, go to sleep, and be asleep, obviously, at midnight, at exactly midnight. And then we have some light phenomenons that the neighbors talked about seeing on their video footage camera on the inside of the house. And then we find out there's other footage on another house into the common area toward the back of their house. And that's where they saw these light phenomenons that were going to a car. And then it appears that one of those lights head back to the house. It appears that the dogs tracked the exact trace of those the light patterns that were in the video we seen. We didn't know what we were seeing. They were just little blobs, and there was like subject 1 and subject 2 and everything like that. We didn't really know what we were seeing, and now that we know that there was a car there, and now we can clearly see the lights going to the car and one going back, it really does put into context that something really did majorly happen to Sebastian Rogers. And then, we've all seen this photo before, and it just doesn't really resonate with me at the time up until just a few hours ago what this photo really represents. Obviously the background has been taken off this photo, but if you remember what the original photo is, there's they're in a store. He's got a piece of pizza in front of him. They're sitting down and he's eating. It's a huge slice of pizza too. And they're sitting down to eat. And it appears that it's his mother taking this picture. Well, one thing I didn't realize, and I don't know why I didn't realize, it just didn't click. Sometimes you know things, but even though you know it, you know that this was the last photo that was taken of him. You know that this was at Costco's on the Saturday before he disappeared. But something just doesn't click in your brain. It's just not clicking. That this was the last photo we have of Sebastian before he disappeared. And still didn't click. It's probably still not clicking for you either. This is the one that we clearly see, the bruise on the Adam's apple. You can see, and I'm a shadows person. It's what I look at shadows. I use, I tilt the camera up if I want to, thin my face a little bit. I deal with shadowing all the time. Okay, that's what I do. I'm a video journalist. I deal with shadows. It's a lot, right? So as you can see here, and we've all talked about the bruise. We've all talked about this photo, and we all talked about the bruise. What we didn't connect, at least for me, what wasn't connected for me, was this was the last photo we saw of Sebastian. This was the last photo taken of Sebastian before he disappeared. And he has a bruise on his neck. That is how... Oh, good gracious. Go back to YouTube. My God, these people... They follow me everywhere. They stalk me everywhere. They want attention so bad, it's disgusting. But anyways, you can clearly see there's a shadow here. This is the shadow of his face. So we're not going to be getting, because, you know, there's some things that appear, and that's what I blew it off as at first. I said, you got to be careful with these photos. I remember when this was coming out and circulating around. This was before I ever heard or even sniffed of abuse in this household. And I remember them talking about this bruise, and I remember talking about this photo before, and I remember talking about the shadowing and saying there's a possibility, but when you blow it up, you can clearly see the shadow of his face. The shadow of his face is right here. This is not in the shadow of his face. This is right over his Adam's apple, and it looks almost like a thumb. It looks almost like a thumb. So this is shadowing, and if you blow it up, you can actually see the browning of it. It's not really like the gray shadow. It looks like a bruise. A bruise. Who are you talking about? This is Sebastian Rogers. This is a 15-year-old child that disappeared from his locked home with his mom. He was locked inside of a home with his mom, and when she woke up the next morning, the whole entire house was still locked and he was gone. Poof, gone. But the kicker is he left everything. Literally everything. He's a highly autistic boy that always puts his shoes on, and he even left the house without his shoes. He also has sensory issues, and it was cold that night. He didn't grab a jacket either. Really weird, huh? You know, I just keep thinking about how weird. Every time I have to try to explain that, just how weird it all sounds. Like, we don't even know this kid, but we already know that there is no way in hell he's walking out of this into the cold without shoes on, at minimum. At minimum. And he's definitely not leaving that house without his switch. I'd like somebody to prove me wrong. Show me some receipts. I got all the parents' words for it. Like, every single one of the parents has explained over and over and over again exactly why this child would never walk out of the house. He doesn't like outside. He doesn't like outside. And then the law enforcement kind of screwed up because they should have contained the scene. They should have acted as if this was a crime scene, not a missing person scene. And so they didn't even dust the frickin' front door for fingerprints. And I wanted them to do it because the reason why I wanted them to do it so bad is because I really truly believed that they would have found no fingerprints on it. That's truly what I believe, because I think it would have just been out of habit because Katie is so freaking clean and has to have everything in such a perfect order that I just feel like in her overzealousness to clean, she would have cleaned all of the fingerprints off, leaving none. And that would have been a key piece of evidence had law enforcement actually dusted the doorknob. Just a simple little task that could have produced so much. I mean, if they had smudges on it, at least they know it hadn't been wiped down. But if there was no fingerprints at all on the door, the way that the parents are saying they went out, it just seems like there was a lot of critical mistakes done up front. And actually, as a matter of fact, I think somebody even pretty much told me that law enforcement just didn't do it, didn't see any purpose for doing the fingerprints at the house. Now, I don't know if that's just rumor. I obviously did not hear it from law enforcement directly, but we haven't heard anything from law enforcement directly. That blows my mind. That really is messed up. Yeah. Well, we believe the mother knows something because her story doesn't make sense and her behavior does not bode with that of a mother of a missing child, a truly missing child. Her behavior, she has, did you guys watch the video I dropped down yesterday? Holy smokes. The video that I dropped down yesterday, it talks about Katie went shopping for a new ride. She got herself a new vehicle. Her son is missing and she's shopping for a new vehicle and changing her hair color. Oh, by the way, she's now wearing glasses. It sounds to me like she is trying to change her appearance so much. It is really bizarre. I don't think I've heard of people doing this. I've heard of cases, even like the West case where Orrin and Orson West, they were reported missing together, but it sounds like that they were unalived separately at different times. And both the parents, Jacqueline and Trezell West, are both behind bars right now. But they did stuff like this. But I really didn't cover that case that much. I can't remember what case I was covering, but it was breaking off. It was becoming a breaking case, but I was working a breaking case. It's very difficult to work two breaking cases. There's so much that goes in. Look at all the time that we spent on Sebastian. There's a lot of manpower, a lot of work that goes into a case like this. And that was the only one. So I've heard things like that. I've never personally witnessed it though, where a parent like literally just doesn't care. Just literally, like, I feel she literally doesn't care. She's out looking at motorcycles. She's obviously got a new car. Like, every time I see Seth, he's like, I can't help but to get teary-eyed or just flat out cry every time I see him on an interview. That was rough he only had, I think, like 6 minutes with Ashley Banfield. And in that 6 minutes, I was almost in tears. And I'm just sitting here just scratching my head. She's got a freaking new car. And you know what? I bet you it was the toss-up between the motorcycle or a new ride. What do you bet? What you bet? What you bet? It's just, it's literally irritating. But you know what? I want you guys to think about something else. Well, hold on, let me see what this was. Hold on, let me go back up here. I saw something. Oh yeah, Sheila. She can do anything she wants while she's under investigation. And you are under no, people think that whenever you're under investigation, you can't move about freely and stuff like that. You absolutely can, unless you have a court order or some type of constraint. They can't stop you. Why do you think Faith is with Chris and Katie now? Do you think a judge would have done that? We know what we know, but there's nothing, there's no charges, there's no conviction, there's nothing. Unless they have a court order, but I think it's foolish for her, because if they really did want to, actually, to be honest with you, that's the easiest way for them to get access to the car, to be honest with you, to do forensic testing without their knowledge. Because if she traded that in, law enforcement had probably been right behind her serving a warrant to pull the car. But you got to think about it, that she did just trade in a car, and she had her house professionally cleaned. Again, these are weird behaviors that I've never personally witnessed a mother do when their child's missing, but I've never personally witnessed a mother getting in a camper and driving to a different state, literally while everybody is in the woods looking for her son. Like, at this time, like, literally we had 50, 60, 70 searchers out there. Never in my wildest dreams have I ever thought I'd ever see the day that I would personally witness something like that. It is just absolutely, utterly insane. Hey, me too. I see you in here. I hope you're doing great. Some parents won't leave foreign countries. Their kids go missing and KP leaves the house. He left. Like, yeah. And not only that, but they didn't even leave lights. Not even from my understanding, I almost remember getting photos of people driving by the house, and like the house was dark. Like, it was dark. I think there might have been a little light on the side or something, but the house was dark. It's like you have a missing child. If you were, I mean, at the minimum, if you're going to leave the house, you would think that you would have turned on at least all the lights, at least in the front part of the house. So if he did come back, he wouldn't be coming back to an empty, dark house. It was just, I don't know. I mean, there's too many red flags to count. And you know what? I have to try, I trust my gut on a lot of stuff. I really do. I trust it on a magnitude of stuff. I trust it on whether to go out, with all the nonsense going on from the crazy lunatics out there on social media. But my gut's telling me that law enforcement isn't stupid. I have to think that if guys, you got to understand, we're literally running on basically a lot of little pieces, right? We've got a lot of little pieces we're putting together. And like even with Chris, his job and stuff, I'm up and down on stuff. I'm just going to have to see it for myself because, people are saying that the cranes are working all around the clock all night long, which they could very well be. I'm not there. I'm relying upon other people's information. I'm hearing just the opposite. We're looking at ordinances and stuff like that. And I'm reading the ordinances, and it's for residential areas. And this is a commercial area far from a residential area. So I have to apply that. It doesn't sound like that ordinance applies to that area. And so we've been going by. It looked like the cranes were shut down, but the same lady that took those videos and sent them to me is also the same person that said that she has never drove by there without seeing those lights on. So it is possible that they are running 24 hours a day or longer than we may think. So I want to throw that out there because whatever I find out is what I'm going to report. So, just be prepared that it may not be what you think it is. It may not even be what I think it is, because I absolutely thought that there's no way that this job would be shut down at 11 o'clock at night at the latest. And so I might be poking holes in my own theory, but at the end of the day, we're here for the truth. So I'm interested in that because one of the questions I'm trying to ask myself is whether or not he had a reason to be at work at 5:15 in the morning, because that's the time he needs us to believe he was at work. And if he was truly at work, he's truly at work. If he was not, we need to figure that out. So those are the main things that I'm really trying to find out in the area, of Memphis. And since I'm over there, I might as well take a look at Horn Lake, not really for any other purpose than just to get a feel of the area. There's some people in that area. I know some people want to search the Memphis area, but I don't know where the best probability of a good search area is, because I'm so limited on time on this trip, because we got two things going. I'm trying to advocate for Sebastian, and Layla Santinello has her 1-year milestone. And while I'm there, I haven't captured any new footage in a really long time. That's why I haven't been able to run a whole lot, because we don't have anything new, and everything that I've got is outdated or has music that, because I was with a music service, so there's a lot of stuff that I prepared for her that I can't play now because I don't pay for the service anymore. And so it makes, I got to go back and redo all of those videos. So it's just going to be easier for me to get new content and prepare new videos for her. But her 1-year milestone is coming up, and her mom is, as you can imagine, in pieces. I think her coping mechanism is trying to help others. And I think some days, just like everybody else, she has good days and she has bad days. It's just sad because, we see her good days, we see her bad days. Just like every time we see Riley's Train's mom, we see her and feel her, and we feel her pain. But every time we see Katie or Chris, we just feel cold. There's no warmth. There's no nurturing. There's nothing. They are completely, utterly detached from this boy. They're utterly detached from the situation. I feel like they're floating. You know, like they're floating. It's just, I can't express it, but doesn't state Jews enforce quiet rule from 10. That's what that's what we heard. But to be honest with you, the stuff that we're getting in is conflicting with that. So I really, to be honest with you, I'm so conflicted when it comes to that, and so confused, because nobody's been able to give me such a real straight answer, because nobody's around there to, it's not that it's their fault or anything. It's just that nobody's around there the times and days and nights I need them to be around there. People are doing this, they're coming off of work, they're going home to their families. They don't have the ability to do this stuff. They can only have the ability to help when they can help. And so I'm going to be there in a few days. Like, I'm leaving literally in just a few hours from now to start heading there. I'm going to try to get some shut-eye, and I'm going to sleep as long as I can sleep. But when I wake up and I'm awake, I'm getting out of here. However, with that being said, usually I'm a little further along in the packing process. Everything's packed. It's just not loaded. And I never got a chance to clean out the car before the night came. So I'm most likely going to be probably cussing a little bit in the morning. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. But we are getting on the road at a ridiculous time in the morning. I'll try to come live with you guys just to let you know where we are and what's going on. I never stay in the areas that I'm searching. If you guys know anything about me, it's a safety thing. So I always stay, thank you, Lori. I always stay in a surrounding area, sometimes a county or two over, depending on what the drive time is and what my palette is for the drive in the morning over safety. So, I will be getting into town. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to be quite staying, though, so I'm not familiar with this particular part of Tennessee. So I guess when I get there, I'll be looking on the way as we're getting a little closer. I don't know. But that's just kind of where I'm at. I just don't stay in the right in where I'm working. It's just a safety measure that we put in place during the Summer Wells case 3 years ago. We, had a habit of telling, because we didn't think people would, we didn't think that people would act insane and try to stalk you or find you or hunt you down. I mean, it's I don't know if people realize that just truly seems creepy and insane, but people did it. So we realized very quickly we got to be careful, because there's crazy people out there. And yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm not going to bend your ear too long. I need to go ahead and start piping down and getting things ready. Actually, I'm just going to go to sleep. That's really all I want to do, is just go to sleep at this point. But I got to wait and upload this on YouTube. And then after that, I'm going to go to sleep. Maybe I'll be to sleep at midnight. Can you imagine? If I fell asleep at midnight, I will be cursed. No, I'm just joking. But what we are here for, guys, if you want to know what this is all about, for those that are just coming in, we've all seen this picture before, okay? Every one of us has seen this picture before. But it wasn't until my subscriber, I've been fielding a lot of emails. I've been asking for a lot of emails, because I've been trying to get some perspectives to help guide me, to help, inform me, to give me some ideas of things that I wouldn't have known without your help. And one of them was talking about this, because we keep going back to, that I've been talking about today and earlier today about how Seth, when I interviewed him, I asked him, how was it when you first arrived at the house after your son went missing? And was there anything out of the ordinary that was going on, or maybe something that you didn't notice then, but you noticed now? Hindsight's 2020. And I remember him saying something to the effect, well, one thing that bothered me then was the type of phone call, the conversations they were having. But he said when he first arrived there, he said he thought it was really weird, because Katie comes up to the phone and says, see, I was just with him. He was happy. Something like that. I got to go back to my interview and listen to it verbatim. But he said something to that effect, and that's when I realized that this optimism photo, because this right here, the background's taken out. In the original photo, this is the background behind him is Costco's. And he's sitting at the table, and whoever's taking the photo, which I will assume is his mother, they both have huge slices of pizza in front of him. And he looks, fairly happy to be sitting down and enjoying a slice with them. I mean, that's a pretty big smile. But it didn't dawn on me that this was literally the day, this is Saturday. He was at Costco's on Saturday. He had that really eventful day on Sunday, and by Monday morning, he was gone. But check this out. Even though I remember talking about this photo and this bruise, I don't think it clicked in my head that this was the last photo before he disappeared and he has the bruise. Because it took me a while to analyze this photo, and I had to look at the shadowing, and we can clearly see this right here going all the way up right there. That is the light shining down on him, and that's his face and the angle of light. So you can tell that the light is, almost directly above his head because of the way, but it's cocked over just a hair, which is giving you this thin little angle right here. Now, what you see here is the shadow. This right here, when you blow it up, it's brown. It looks like a bruise on his Adam apple. And it looks like a thumbprint bruise on his Adam apple. Right? That would be where your thumb would land. And so it is a very bothersome issue for me because we did talk about this photo and we did talk about the bruise early on in this case. Probably back in middle to late March. We talked about this photo. We talked about this bruise. But what we didn't talk about was this was the last photo taken of him before he disappeared, and it has a recent bruise on his neck. Shadow. Bruise. Unless he has a birthmark we don't know anything about. But that sure does look like a freaking thumbprint if you ask me. Because you can see his face is about the size of my face. So our bodies are about the distance away from the camera that he was that day. And that looks like a perfect thumbprint to me. I would say from an adult size female. No, I don't know who put it there. Let me not be, I'm not, but absolutely looks like a thumbprint right there on his Adam's apple, which is exactly how the hand would have laid right before he disappears. Just saying. Sounds like there was a lot more problems going on inside the house than we know about. It also sounds like CPS was well aware of it. I also want to point out that the Wells had CPS at their house the day before Summer Wells went missing. The Proudfoots had CPS at their house within 30 days before Sebastian went missing. The key factor is CPS was involved in both of these cases. CPS is designed to prevent these cases, yet I see over and over and over again many cases of having the children and the Department of Children and Family Services involved, and the child still goes missing or is wound up unalive. And I just don't understand how that can continuously to be the case when we put so much money toward protecting these kids and getting CPS out there and making sure these kids get removed and putting laws in place to help facilitate making sure our children are safe. And it just seems like every time we think we're doing something, the public, the people, the taxpayers, we're the ones footing these bills. When we think we're doing stuff and spending these extra monies to help save our children, and we're finding out that these tools are actually being utilized, and it still didn't help save these children. That's the burning of the grits, That's when they start getting really charred. And it does burn my grits to hear that. So I don't know what the answer is here, but we have 2 cases where the Department of Children and Family Services were involved. I don't understand how this happened. And I don't know if I can quite understand or ever will understand. So, anyways, guys, I will see you later. I'm going to go dark for a little while here on TikTok, not because I'm really going dark. It's because whenever I do stop for gas or anything, I will be on my YouTube channel letting my people know where I'm at and what's going on, and let that I'm safe and everything like that. So if you guys would like to see also my live footage from when I'm out in the field, when I go out searching and stuff like that, will be done on the YouTube channel. I'm over there, just like here, under Bullhorn Betty. If you guys would like to go over there, I will still be preparing some videos and making sure you guys are up to date with everything over here too. So don't worry about it. If you don't want to go over to YouTube and don't want to watch it live, I will make sure you guys get some great content and great footage over here of the work that I did and am doing. So I'm really excited to finally get back out in the field, but I know I've got a lot of work, and I know I've got a very little bit of time, and my first day there, which will be tomorrow afternoon, I'm just going to get a lay of the land, and after that, it'll probably take me another 2 hours or so to plan my trip, because I need to figure out where I want to start. I've got my ideas of where to go. I just need to figure it all out. So I won't know the best strategy until I'm literally right there. Because, usually I don't have time to make 3 different strategies. So I'm just going to, I know what I need to do if I need to go here. I know what I need to do if I need to go here. And I know what I need to do if I need to go here. I got it covered. I got those all done. So I just need to put them all in order. Boom, 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 boom. My schedule will be done, and I'll know where I'll be. And then we can figure out if we're going to do some search parties. I'd like to get at least a day out there for people that would like to come out and help search. I'm going to see about getting some areas. We got to make sure, and that's where it's going to start getting tricky, is I got to make sure that we stay on public property, and that you guys have, something to say if you do find a private property owner that's willing to allow you to search. If you want to know how to approach them and stuff like that, it's very simple, very easy if you're not too shy. As you guys can tell, I'm not really that shy. It's kind of funny because when I'm out in the public, I'm not shy, but in real life, when it's not work, I'm shy. I didn't realize how shy I am. I get really quiet too. It's kind of crazy. I don't know where it came. I think it's just, just being in the house for so long here lately. I need to get out. I just need to get out. So, I'll see you guys in Tennessee. So rock it out with your coffee beans out. We'll see you soon.